Harlan, are you there?
Hey guys, I'm here. Just didn't want to interrupt.
You got any thoughts on this talisman? I'm talking about my investment talisman. I know you're kind of hands off when you get stocks that are in play and stuff like that. You're more of a technical trader, but I'm looking at it
Right.
here. This $11 has been resistance for quite some time here too. But then Joel's saying I've had it for quite a while here in my portfolio. It's apparently in play here right now. Should I hold on?
Gosh, I'm gonna go with Joel. You've held it through thick or thin this long, and here you are, break even. Kudos for patience, though. Um,
Well, no, that's not that good of a thing. But in my trading portfolio, I'd be the hell out. I always limit and cut my loss in my trading portfolio. But my investment portfolio, I try to take a long-term time horizon. I try to hold stuff for years in there. So,
right.
some
Talk
stocks
about
I get way
bipolar,
up
huh?
in. Pardon me?
Talk about bipolar, huh?
It's a hard
One
thing to
extreme to
do
the
as a trader. It's a
it is.
very hard thing to do, to be an investor when you're a trader because you always want to scalp out of your position. So I've actually got a
Right.
retail brokerage account where I hold this stuff so I don't look at it every day, so I don't think about it. And I try to put it in there, and I have my own rules that, if I buy something in there, I can't just turn around and sell it when I get the quick profit in there. I got to hold on at least for a solid gain. I like to make at least 50% on my positions in there, unless circumstances change. There's always reasons to break the rules, but overall, I like to hold the stuff longer there, just because I'm such a trader. Otherwise, I'd scalp out of it.
But Dennis, don't sometimes
Right.
if you
Right.
get really stuck on something in a day trade, you just transfer it over to your
No, I don't do that. And that's the main thing. And that's what you see so many traders do. And I'm very sticky about that. So I do not do that, where I let a trade become an investment. That's what you never want to do.
That's funny. We have a saying. A lot of times I'll have people, they'll say to me, well, I'm an investor. And then I ask them a question and I say, are you an investor because you choose to be an investor or because you're forced to be an investor? If they say they're forced to be an investor, they're down. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're right. It's that constant battle psychologically between being a trader and being an investor. I guess I kind of look at it as look at your desktop on your computer and, you got your little icons there. You open that icon for being an investor and you got to put that hat on. You open the other icon, on your desktop for being a trader, you got to put that hat on. Yep. And it just takes a while as an individual to get used to that type of style. So it doesn't happen overnight, and you fight with it. We all fight with it. So,
Harlan, let's talk about Microsoft here a little bit. And actually, we were just talking about it when it was at trading near the highs. I had a former high of the move at 45.71 during the regular session, 45.95 here in the pre-market. Had the big news last week that caused this absolutely crazy run. Now the earnings come out, and earnings aren't really that stellar, but they still managed to rally it. Are you just going to go with the sentiment on the street and try and hold this thing and gets back up to 46, or is this something where you had this wild action, you had the pullback, and now it's right back up and time to take some chips off the table?
Well, when I pull up the chart, immediately I go, where's support? Support's at 42 and change. And that big wild move over 45, that was probably your earnings were built in right then and there. And so, and obviously you can see it's done nothing basically, tight range since. So, for me, I'm a pullback buyer. I like to buy at or near support. Quite simply because when markets get into trouble or you have a couple of bad days or even news-driven type of events, stocks will sell off. But you know what? If you brought them closer to support, you really don't have that much of a problem versus buying something that's extended. How about the guy that bought it at 46? How is he actually feeling right after he bought it 4 days ago? He's not feeling all that great right now. I mean, regardless, it's getting close to being back up there. But usually when these stocks spike like this, I just leave them alone. Let the dust settle. And if they come back to you, they come back to you. And if they don't, you know what? There's always another bust somewhere else. So, for me, I got to say, if this thing pulls back off its highs down into the sub 43 but above 42 level, then I'll take a look at it. But for me, there's no trade. It's just being disciplined based on my style. What do they say? No tiki, no tradey?
No tiki, no
that's kind of where
washi.
Yeah.
I got to give you some props here, Harlan. I'm gonna just say I got you. I get your newsletter here now. I subscribe to the All About Trends newsletter. Pops in my mail, and actually you had some recommendations there. Well, I guess I don't know if you're giving actual recommendations there or not, but you were saying in your portfolio you were picking up the Ballard Power, the Plug Power, and the FCEL because they started looking good technically. They were your kind of chart where you had the pullbacks off the highs and starting to round up and look good. And they really moved after you sent out that alert. Those stocks have been straight up here. I know they kind of had their capitulation day there a little bit yesterday. Some of them closed weak, but when you sent that out there last week, that was right near the bottom on these three stocks.
Well, how long have we been talking on this space for, 2-3 months now about, remember the last time they got really hot and I was kind of standoffish because I don't chase stocks, and now you know why. They settled down, and all of those names, they have 4-month bases sitting down here. So, if they can cross over and stick, they could start to bunny hop their way higher, 2 forward, 1 back, and, work their way higher. So, for right now, those are really big bases. And if they can continue, maybe they go on a run. Who knows? I mean, I've got fledgling positions in them, and, I look at it this way. I'm there. I've got some. And if they work their way higher, and if they bunny hop their way higher, you know what? I can just add to them along the way. So, so I've got a toehold in all of them. If they work and they continue to work, great. I'm there and I can add. If they don't, you know what? I don't have big positions in them. So it's all about risk management with them. But they do look pretty decent. When we were talking about these, it was,
Monday
back
morning.
in March when they went vertical.
Yeah.
Way back there in March, and then, they just kind of died on the vine. So we're going to see if they can continue and follow through. So I guess for me, Ballard and Fuel Cell, they both came right up to the highs of April. Fuel Cell yesterday tagged the highs of April, and
are you still holding on?
Late April.
Did you sell your position? You're still holding on?
No, I'm going to hold on. Yeah. Because, what happens if these issues break out of these bottom of what I'll call cups? If they break out of the bottom of a cup, they're coming up the right side of a cup. So, and, for me, I love that trade. I love an issue that is emerging out of a correction. Bigger the base, bigger the break is the old adage. So, and that goes both ways, of course. So, if you have a big 4-month base and you have a stock breaking out of a 4-month base on strong volume or the bottom of a cup, you got to honor that. You got to trade what you see, and you got to keep an eye on it.
And
but it was pretty big volume.
In your out remains at the lows of the move?
Oh, we're getting some static.
No. I'm going to use support on these things. Major support, and there's multiple levels of support. It depends on which issue you're talking about. Ballard, Fuel Cell, and Plug. Plug seem to be the strongest. I have support on Plug right around $4. Of course, it just ran basically this month from 4.25 to 6 intraday yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's a huge move percentage-wise. So just remember, when you're dealing with small stocks like this, heck, a 50% or a 50-cent move,
huge.
That's a 10%. Yeah. Now that works for you, which is awesome when you're on the right side, but it also works against you. So just keep that in mind. When you're dealing with single-digit midgets, which is what I call stocks under $10, things are amplified. So just remember that. Returns are amplified, so are losses. So, for me, I'm there. If they keep working higher, I'll add to them along the way, one step at a time.
Harlan, I wanted to get your take just over on the overall market yesterday, and in particular the S&P futures. We had just found major resistance points at 1974, 1976, 1978 and a quarter was the standing high until yesterday. And then you got up there yesterday and you got through it, but you got through it by 2 measly points. and then you had a lot of consolidation between 1278 and or 12
19.
1978, 1980. Then you got the little bit of the weakness near the end of the day. So a lot of people that was it just a question of people bought the breakout, didn't get the follow through, and got a little bit nervous. And now today, after clearing it out yesterday, we could get the follow through to the upside. Is that what you're looking for?
Well, I'm looking at it this way. I mean, when you see it, and it came back up to that 1985 level, understand 3-4 days ago it was in the 1957, 58 level. So, I mean, in a few days, that was a huge move. And at that moment in time that we were down at the 1960-ish zone, resistance was clear at 1985-ish. So, of course, you make a run up there, and knowing that that's resistance, and everybody knows it. So, of course, you're going to get some stall at that level because it's resistance. Now, this morning, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to bust through on that, aren't we? Or at least retest those highs again.
Yeah.
So, I guess my view is, technically, yeah, this is a resistance level. You initially pegged that resistance, and you started to pull away from that. So that shows you that that's a ceiling. But, today's another day. That was yesterday. Today's another day. It seems like earnings season is being the driver. So, we're probably going to bust on out, and quite simply due to earnings season. So, that's the driver here, which could propel us higher, and we could just keep eking higher here in the S&P until something occurs that says, all right, time for another. I mean, if you really, sure, everybody's feeling great now, but, this has been a really sloppy month if you really look at it month to date. So, but support's been holding and resistance is in play. And if you break out, you can eke a little bit higher, line up your tops.
So the circus is not in
since
town
June.
yet. The circus is not in town yet. You don't need to sell your peanuts.
You can just get.
Yeah, you like that, huh? Yeah. Well, the circus is in town when you get stocks that go vertical.
Okay.
So you've just bought your tickets to the circus.
Okay,
You haven't actually went to the show.
Dennis, he opened himself up here. Okay, with the vertical comment. Okay, Harlan, what do we do with what? I don't even know what the symbol is. PBIY. What's the symbol of that?
PBYI.
Yeah, come on, Harlan. Show us what
Stocks
you got.
have gone vertical. You want to talk about a chart? Show the chart, Joe, on the daily, just to give it some.
I saw it. I saw it earlier. I was like, wow. Well, think about it. If you own it at, $60, $58, whatever it was, and you walk in today, and this stock is what it's over 200 or something now.
215.89.
Yeah. Never look a gift horse in the mouth. That's kind of, how much more do you want? If you think about it, bulls make money, bears make money, and guess what? Pigs get slaughtered.
Would you take off the whole position? The whole position? Because, a couple guys are going to come out tomorrow and say, we are raising our price target from 49 to 972. I mean, don't you want to, don't you think that, I don't know. Half of
What's
the position?
your risk? I mean, you have a stock that just went from, 60 to 215. So, again, how much more do you want? It does not get any better than that in an extremely short period of time. Those type of gains, sure, over the last 4 or 5 years, stocks like Chipotle and Netflix and stuff like that, and, all the leaders of this upcycle, they've put on huge point moves. But you know what? It didn't happen with overnight situation. They took months and sometimes a couple of years to put those huge moves on, and this stock did it in one day. That's what I mean. Why did it doesn't get any better. So if they want to up their estimates and pie in the sky, so be it. That's who they are, and if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But for me, I'd be looking at it this way. If you made that kind of money, what else can you do with the money today?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Okay. You can actually pay yourself. Go buy a car.
Okay.
Really. I mean, you got at some
here.
point. You do. At some point, you have to feel good about yourself. When you do this, and you got to pay yourself. So, personally, if it was me, gosh, I'd be saying, you know what? Come 3 o'clock Central Time, I think I'm going car shopping.
Okay.
So that's what I would do. But that's just me. I mean, people are who people are, and people are going to do what they choose to do.
Okay, Harlan, we gotta take.
You can't really take this thing out for a ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's there. It's there. It looks good in your account. But you know what? Wouldn't you rather be driving?
Yeah, something nice.
Drive some of
So
those.
go take it for a
Alright.
ride.
Tip from Harlan.
Okay, Harlan,
You've got to pay yourself.
we gotta take a quick break here and bring on our next guest. So thanks as usual for your great commentary. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Take care. See you later.